It's safe for anyone to
Sei in deinem Element. Und es wird eins mit dir.
Ana alachaka. Ana ya baba zaka n'ukono. Okwu Igbo. Na bano ugwu ji eji. Emesu natana wekobiano. Neno wachologu mane. Makane jiri galarolao. Naka webi jeru natana. Angoni alano. Makanonya korokorano. Ebulia gape amanneano. Anamano. Eba sawa. Ubeleto. Ego kabo. Obiamuno tepemuno no mama. Obiamuno kabamuno mama. Obiamuno tepemuno no mama. Obiamuno kabamuno mama. Ego kodi kambilo ye kutalma. Numado budeni go amule. Odo ye mamba itelo ya we mo ya neno. Odiyo ye mamba okara no. Moyo walo nido we go na toe. Nakame jeru na kana we go hanyano. Ina kumano mbajebe. We look at no woman we chogoa. Ibo ne tolo ne no oge we. Oye welo woman no na dele yama. Ayo ni welo woman no. Welo ne choa. Ayo ni welo woman no. Welo ne choa. Imabonita bobo kele Akuko mone muloma no way Madonna rondo wera po wanava Akuko mone lolona o madema Madonna rondo we bienu no lolo Akuko mone welego no way Mama rondo rondo rapo wanava Machube bana bike bana kali dotua Ojo bana rondo we halam polas polako Only Sebolo one, I don't know you. And you're gonna go now, it's okay. Even I like a lot, no way. All the way I think the real thing to me. Never guessing over what I love to never get la la, get la la. I love you, man. I love you, man. I love you so much. I love you, man. I love you, man. I love you so much. I love you, Ife sozilonye sodikia. Nenu wankani nono. Onye kazi chukwu. Abwana istia no sono. Onye bukwa chiamza nabano. Ife na soyi. Abwaza na soyi na sono. Manata buwane tizuru. On Sunday or Wednesday, Makadibu one on Sunday for the they do a corner was in on Sunday or Wednesday. On Sunday or Wednesday. If it's all of us, and yes, I and then you find out by now. Ike na-asonye dị iche nụ, ike na-asonye ọzọ dị nsọ. Ike so dị n'ọma nsọ, nke sozi gị nwe ọ dị n'ọma mmanụ. Agbanyezi ọbara ị ga-enye Chukwu n'ọnụ. La Chukwu kesịrị ibe n'ụwa nọ. Nke soro dị n'ọma si dị ya, nke soro dị nke n'ọma nsọ na-asọzi. Wee na-agwazi m, ike na-asọ ndị ọnụ, ọ na-asọzi ndị ọzọ. Anyị ga-ejisi ike na-aghọta n'ọrụ maka na okwu Chineke si ma ndị chọọ na-enye obisi iche iche. Sunday, I went. the guy that we hold the dark cage. That is our lifted up their eyes to see the shining glory, the beauty of Messiah, to set the captives free, and let the blind to see the King is set to rule. Let's sing for joy, His kingdom is restored. Let's shout for joy, hallelujah, hallelujah, for praising the Lord. Biafra, oh Biafra, kingdom of God on earth. Oh Biafra, the victory is sure. Victory, oh victory, our heart is glad, our flag is on. Victory, oh victory, Biafra is yet dwelling place of God.
Welcome once again, my fellow compatriots, my fellow Biafrans, and by extension, our fellow Nigerians. Whenever we use the term Nigeria, it does not mean that we have become fully integrated into the system that is Nigeria. No. We are Biafrans and must remain Biafrans at all times. But the mention of Nigeria is because at the present moment, we are still part of that flagelling federation. So when you say, or when you hear me say fellow Nigerians as well, it is just in that particular respect as a citizen of this flagelling country called Nigeria. But all the same, we are Biafrans and must remain Biafrans till God's kingdom come. Welcome once again to this evening's broadcast, which is coming to you as usual from the satellite station of the Voice of Biafra International. I am Ikenna Obibiagono, your moderator. With me right now from Lagos, joining is Judy Chijoke. Judy, welcome to the program. Hello, Judy Chijoke. Are you there with us? Are you already connected?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, please say hello to fellow Biafrans who are now hooked on to the program.
Good evening, fellow Biafrans. This is Jude Chijoke. I'm joining in from Lagos, Nigeria.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You are so much welcome to our program, Jude. You are so much welcome. Thank you very much. And also from Accra, Ghana is Uche Didi joining. Uche, welcome to the program.
Yeah, my able brother Ikenna, good evening once again, and good evening all Biafrans and friends and well-wishers of Biafrans. This is your humble servant, Uche, speaking from Ghana. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Uche Didi from Accra, Ghana. You are welcome to the program. And next online is Sodi Bobo Emmanuel Wabisi. Sodi, welcome to the program. We are not hearing you, Sonny. Please speak out. Come close to your microphone or whatever. We cannot hear you at all.
Thank you, my brothers and sisters. I am Sonny Bobo Emmanuel speaking from Biafra land. I want to say a happy welcome for today's edition of the program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sonny. You are welcome to the program right away from Biafra land. As we are making the necessary introductions, there is a caller from Nigeria or Biafra land with number ending 0017. Our dear caller, hello and welcome to the program. Your name and where you are calling from.
I'm Buchas one name. I'm from Lagos.
Ndewo.
I am a member of my BIM. So,
Ndewo. That's good.
thanks, sir.
I hope Lagos zone is preparing all the normal we are sure that Lagos is preparing adequately for our 26th anniversary. I believe so.
Hello?
I'm sure Lagos is preparing for our 26th anniversary. Day. Okay, because we hold Lagos in high regard. I need Lagos mono. So Oga Masai and Lagos kwadozuru ofuma na mmemme ga-eme on the 26th of this month. Ime ncheta esinna ikwu the People's General Chukwuemeka Odimegwu Ojukwu eze gburugburu nke ndị Igbo ụbọchị ọnwụrụ. Mana anyị na-emekwa ka ndị Igbo mara na echi iwu November 4 ka a mụrụ nna ikwu eze Igbo gburugburu Chukwuemeka Odimegwu Ojukwu. There is something very, very significant about Chukwuemeka Odimegwu Ojukwu. He was born in November and he left us in November. But the significant part of it all is that 4 days into November, he was born. 4 days before the end of November, he died. Look at it again. 4 days into November, Ojukwu was born. 4 days before the end of November, Ojukwu died. Sonny Babo, let me start from you. What do you have to say about this? What significance? What does it tell us about Chukwuemeka Odimegwu Ojukwu? Sonny Babo. Okay, first of all, let me ask our caller online from Lagos. Onye na-esi Lagos akpọ nna ikwu Chukwuemeka Odimegwu Ojukwu ọ mụrụ n'ọnwa November. Mgbe ha mụrụ n'ọnwa November, ọ bụ 4 days into November, and he died 4 days before the end of November. Kedu ihe ị nwere ike ikwu maka Ojukwu?
Abụghị ọzọ ọ nwere ọ na-egosi na nwata iche na
exactly. Ọ na-egosi na ọnọwụ nwoke pụrụ iche na enwere ihe dị omimi na ndụ ya, 4 days into November he was born. 4 days before the end of November he died. There is something very, very mysterious about it all, which we must explore. This must have informed the reasons why he lived a legendary personage. That is Chukwuemeka Odimegwu Ojukwu, the People's General. Eze gburugburu ke ndị Igbo, dike dị ọra mma ke ndị Igbo. Ndewo, thank you very much for that particular statement you made. O gosi that na enwere ihe pụrụ iche n'ebe nna ikwu Chukwuemeka Odimegwu Ojukwu. We are broadcasting to you live now from the satellite station of the Voice of Biafra International. We are streaming live on satellite, on Facebook and YouTube simultaneously. Join us. Now, Sonny Baba, over to you. Ojukwu was born 4 days into November and he died 4 days before the end of November. What do you have to say about this? It's not so mysterious?
It's more than mysterious, my brother. This is a sign that signifies.
Yeah, okay. So please hold on. Our caller is still online. Yeah, what do you have to tell us still, our caller from Lagos? Oh, and I am actually in a put that outside the beach. Come close to your window. We cannot get you clearly, please. Yes. And then meeting come. Okay, yes. Okay, yes. Yes, I know what information. That's not the United Nations to be alibu. Hanandi Ohaneze were Obakowa. We mana no Gaga, the chairman of Ohaneze, the United Nations, according to Basra, Ahundi Bonata, Nime Nigeria. Nambondi Bona Baquality, every Kemudo, Mananga Handi Bona Bambo, Ndova na Hasimba, Nudamayadi. Ohaneze Chitawo, Nyango the Weekend, then the United Nations. Ha abịazie ka ha mara ka ihe siri dịrị. Mgbe ha bịakwara ha hụ na ihe a na-ekwu uwe eziokwu. Ekwuru okwu ihe gbasara ọnọdụ ndị Igbo ndị Biafra n'ala Naịjirịa. Ekwuru okwu maka ahụhụ ndị Igbo ndị Biafra na-ata, wee kọwakwara ndị United Nations na ọnọdụ anyị na Naịjirịa adịghịzi anyị mma, na ọ ga-akara anyị mma ka ọ bụrụ na Naịjirịa sị na ya adịghị ebi ka anyị tụrazi ibu anyị labazie. Ọ bụ ihe ndị agwara ndị United Nations. Mana ihe dị mkpa wụ na ha zara oku ahụ a kpọrọ. Ọ were plus to our Biafra emergence. Yes, it's something very, very significant. It really happened, and they came and they saw. What remains now is for us to conquer, and the time has come for us to conquer. That is the situation of things for now. Please, we are telling our people who are hooked on to their Facebook Messenger, they should control their backgrounds. The noise coming there is so distracting that I might be tempted to disconnect everybody. Check your various backgrounds. We cannot be repeating this again and again, day in, day out. Please. So that's the situation of things now. Because our brother in Lagos now, are you satisfied with the answer I gave you?
Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you very, very, very much, and may God bless you too. From the satellite station, this is Voice of Biafra International, Germany. We are reaching to you. Now, over to you, Sonny. Ojukwu was born 4 days into November. He died 4 days before the end of November. What do you have to say, Sonny?
And my brother, I'm saying that this is more than mysterious, because this is a sign that signifies what it symbolizes and symbolizes what it signifies. I think the symbol is Biafra, and the significance is the liberation of the Biafrans. It is a mark of, in fact, is a different mark for the liberty of his people. Is to show that Ojukwu purposely came for the liberation of his people, and is to show and is to tell the world and is to tell every of our brothers and sisters that Ojukwu stands for Biafra and nothing for Biafra. That's why God created him with a sign, a 4 days in birth and 4 days to death. That is a sign to show that he has a mission to accomplish. And he came for a purpose. And to God be the glory that through him we are still talking about Biafra today. Through him we are still into agitation of Biafra. And with him, that by mentioning his name, Biafra will be actualized. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you very, very much for that wonderful analysis. Ojukwu was born 4 days into November and 4 days before the end of November. So significant. Jude Chijoke, what do you have to say about Ojukwu in this particular issue we are talking about now? Hello, Jude Chijoke.
Thank you very much.
Jude, the service is not clear over there. Jude, the service is not clear from where you are speaking. Please and adjust. Jude, hold on, please. We are not getting you. The service is not flowing very, very well. You may have to change your position, please.
Hello.
We are not hearing you, Jude. We are not getting you. We are not getting you. I repeat, we are not getting you at all. The service is not clear where you are.
Yeah.
You have to change your position. While we are waiting for you to adjust very well, Uche DG, what do you have to say? Ojukwu born 4 days into November, 4 days before the end of November.
I must confess that the death or the birth and the death of Ikemba Odumegwu Ojukwu, our able president, late president, his death is a very bad. This is a significant that shows or proves that he was born to actualize Biafra. And his mission on earth was successfully accomplished. This is what I understand on his birth and on the day he died. It is to show that
people will say, but you were leading the first one. Yes, I led the first one. And I will say to everyone,
yeah, thank you very much.
Proudly the
it's very, very true. a legendary
I don't think
personage,
a second one is
a man
necessary.
who came to
We should
liberate
have
his
learned from
people
that
from
first
decades
one.
of
Otherwise,
social
the death would have
stratifications.
been to no avail.
That was what Oju
Would
came
all
to
have
do.
been in vain.
Into November, he came. In November, he left. 4 days into November, he came. 4 days before the end of November, he left us. Ume Maslinus, what is your contributions here? What are your contributions, madam?
Good evening, my fellow Biafrans and our listeners. I am Umar Muslim, who's joining from Lagos, Nigeria. Yes, the month of November is a significant month to Biafrans in particular, and to the entire Africa in general. I will say so because the great Dean Chukwemeka Odumegwu, who started the
records are there. In fact, only about 2 weeks ago, I saw a set of the records again.
Was born in the month of November, and in the month of November he left. And I am so privileged to share that month of November with the great Dean Chukwemeka Odumegwu. So you can see that both myself and Louis, we are all November products. So we are not surprised that Dean Ojukwu was able to achieve what he achieved in the case of Biafra, and the kind of recognition he has been given the whole world, because wherever you go, I don't think there's any place in the world you mention Dean Chukwemeka Odumegwu. The very first thing that will come out from the whosoever that hears it there is the warlord, the Biafra warlord. That is what will just come out from that, and that shows that he's indeed a great man. And this month of November 2017, I believe it will be a great month to the entire Biafrans as we celebrate on 26th in memory of Dean Chukwemeka Odumegwu. We all are going to celebrate this with a difference. And I pray God that which we have been longing for, those of us who have not that we have gotten it, after that 26th, begin to see things that will make them to begin to believe that actually we are already in Biafra. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. We are informing our various listeners that tomorrow, November 4th, is the day our legendary personage and our epic figure was born into this world. We are talking about the General of the People's Army, Chief Chukwemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu. Having been born 4 days into November, he left us 4 days before the end of November. It is indeed very, very mysterious. We have to ponder on the life of this particular legendary personage and know the significances therein. When we understand all these things, we shall be in position to appraise indeed his mission on earth. He came, he accomplished his own task, and he left us. We are here tomorrow, remembering the day he was born. On the 26th of the same month equally, we shall be remembering the day he left us into eternity. This is the expression of things for now. Thank you very much, our own people. Now, we are going to discuss in proper perspective what we are out to gain, to achieve, and to showcase to the world on the 26th of November. Lagos is preparing, the entire Biafra land is preparing, even in Benue State, every part of Nigeria is preparing for this particular D-Day. And right now, from the seat of the Biafra administration, that is headquarters at Owerri, Sonny Bobo is always there, and he is in proper position, or in better position rather, to tell us exactly the level of preparation that we are making to make this particular day a remarkable day. Very many people are already calling us to know how we are preparing. Many are calling to know who and who will be attending. Of course, I tell them the whole world will be coming there to be with us. Sorry, Baba. In the last few days, we spoke with you. Are there further improvements on how best the 26th of November will be a D-Day, a day set apart? Are there new improvements? Sonny, are you with us?
Yeah. There are new improvements, my brother.
Okay, hold on, please. Sonny, please hold on. Let us take a caller from Biafra land. Hello, Emeka Ojo from Iguano. You are welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you.
Ndewo. We are right now live on Voice of Biafra International, and you are calling us now. Tell fellow Biafrans who are listening to you where you are calling from right now.
Okay, my question, I want to ask just a question.
Okay.
And my question is this.
Why not tell us where you are calling from? Biafrans would like to know where you are calling from before your question.
Okay, I'm calling from Iguano now.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Now your question.
Yeah, my question is this. Like today, we have from the newspaper review that UN sent a delegate to
Yes.
Yeah. And we heard that Ohaneze told them that division of Nigeria is will not solve the problem. Then our people, like somebody who claims to be a member of Ohaneze told us that UN came to congratulate Ohaneze on what they did during the time of Operation Python Dance. And that the UN did not come to tell them that there's something like a difference. They come to tell them that they tried their best during the time of Operation Python Dance. Now, my question is this. Does it mean that the UN did not support Biafra, or the UN did not support the agitation?
Thank you. Sorry, please. Thank you very much for that particular question. Now, let me give you my answer. Whenever anything happens in Biafra land, IPOB boys are quick to reacting and they give us interpretations on what happened. Remember, they have a lot of foot soldiers on Facebook waiting, doing nothing except to give us wrong information. Indeed, UN came. The purpose of their coming is yet a secret affair. But IPOB boys, like what they are doing or what they have been doing all the time, whenever something happens, in the secret or dark recesses of their minds, they begin to offer interpretations. At the end of the day, you will discover that they have fed our people with bundles of lies. We know RBL IPOB boys as rumor mongers. They will tell you what happens in the marketplace when they didn't go to market. They will tell you what happened in what happens in the churches without going to churches. They sit down round table and begin to circulate information. And when you call them to order or to give further explanation, you see them scampering into hiding. This is the situation of things. Indeed, the United Nations delegation came to Ohaneze at the instance of Ohaneze Group. But what they discussed, nobody will know yet, and much as we know, it's not everything we are going to air here for security reasons. But one thing I have to tell you this. If Ohaneze, led by Nyanwodo, tells UN delegation that we don't want war, of course, they are right. Is there anybody who wants war? Remember, they are talking as elders. They are talking as elders in the land. We, the children they use, are acting like they use. For example, Anybody who read Things Fall Apart by Chinwe Achebe, Unoka is Okonkwo's father. He might be a lazy man, not necessarily that he's a lazy man, but he's somebody who is not very, very proactive. But he has a son, a brazen human being, somebody who doesn't tolerate any rubbish from anybody. Anytime Okonkwo wanted to react, the father would say, no, Okonkwo one. There is no father who would like his own son to go to battlefield. Nobody. The father will first of all tell the son, don't go to battle. He will just tell him, but the father cannot hold the son from going to war. Remember during the Civil War 1967-70, our aged parents cried when we were going to battlefield. Even though they cried and advised us not to go, we still went to war. So we, the youth of our time, know what we are suffering in Nigeria. And because we wouldn't like to bequeath this particular suffering to our children, our children's children, we are going to defy the advice of our people in remaining in Nigeria as part of the entity. We are discussing Biafra. What they came to do is, thank you for diffusing tension. Thank you for not allowing the crisis that happened in Biafra land during August to escalate into a second civil war. That was what they came to do, to show solidarity that we were able to make peace. Making peace does not mean relinquishing Biafra. Making peace does not mean mortgaging Biafra. Making peace does not mean succumbing to Nigerian intimidation. No. We are there to say, much as we do not want wars, but we are heading towards Biafra land. If United Nations does not honor or respect Biafra, they won't have left New York to come to Biafra land to answer our summons. They came in the name of Biafra, and when they entered, everything Ohaneze said bordered on Biafra and the entire Igbo race. But the content is not what we are going to disclose here on air for some obvious security reasons.
Okay.
This is what I have to tell you. So when RBL boys come and talk rubbish, you should ignore them. Remember, already RBL IPOB boys are now telling our people in Anambra that Avengers, United Data Militants are now everywhere in Anambra State. They have their guns, and anybody that comes out on election day, they are going to kill him. Is it true? It's all a lie. It is all a lie. Last week they said anybody coming from Onitsha to Anambra, or whether to Anambra, Enugu to Anambra, and so on, that people will put on uniform and begin to kill them. What is happening? People are going about their normal businesses. Let us forget the propaganda being carried out by these RBL, IPOB misguided elements. They have nothing to offer to Biafrans except in sorrow and bitterness. Let us disregard them. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, I am very much happy about the answer you gave me. And I will always, as I told you before, I will always be following. Even if I get something that maybe something that I did not understand very well, I would like to call so that I will understand.
Every time, give us a call and we'll explain to you what is happening. We don't tell our people lies. We tell them the truth, no matter how bitter. This is what Voice of Biafra International does. We tell you the gospel truth. We don't magnify truth or to paint it for you to be happy. No. We tell you when it is good and when it is bad. Take it or leave it. This is what we do.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Now,
Goodbye.
thank you. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that someone who wants to make a contribution?
Yeah, my brother, you can.
Okay.
Okay. I want to make a contribution over the question our brother asked. So, my brother, what I want to say is this: the issue of United Nations.
I'm sure people are listening. When somebody is talking, another person should interrupt, please. Sonny is talking and he has the audience. Let every other person remain calm and listen to him, please. Sonny, over to you.
Okay, thank you, my brother. So, about our brother who asked a question about United Nations visiting Ohaneze Ndigbo, they have the right to visit Ohaneze Ndigbo, and we know what Ohaneze stands for. Ohaneze stands for as an elder in Igbo land.
Exactly.
They did not stand for the freedom of Biafrans.
Exactly.
By United Nations visiting them does not mean that they are not supporting us or whatever. I can tell you, Ohanese can have the visit from United Nations and it will be displayed on the national dailies. A lot of diplomats have visited our struggle, but it's not something that we expose on air.
At all.
We know what we are doing and we know how we are doing. Ohanese visiting them does not mean that they are not supporting the agitation. Ohanese stands for the betterment of every indigenous people on earth that works, that wants and the peace and the protection of the lives of their citizens anywhere in the world. So they have no discrimination over who is fighting for Biafra or over who is fighting for his freedom or over people talking about any country. So Ohanese has the right to visit Ohanese Ndigo. And at the same time, they are not against our agitation for Biafra liberation. That is what I want to tell our brother. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. Now, Uche, did you wanted to make contributions? Uche,
My able brother, I am not the one that was speaking when Sonny is speaking, but what I have to contribute, Sonny have already said it all. Because I do believe that Ohanes and Igbo, not only representing the Igbo people, but they represent all the indigenous people of both South, who are into the government of Nigeria. So when the United Nations want to visit Biafrans, they know whom to visit. Even though they pretend not to know, they know that.
Uche, your service is not very clear at all. His service is not clear at all. At all.
Yeah. And they will ask who and
Uche, please, I thought you are on WhatsApp. Why don't you connect us through WhatsApp? Because where you are talking right now, there is no better service. I must be frank with you. There is no better service, and there are people not getting you very clearly.
My position in the next 5 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, Umema Slenos.
Yeah.
Okay, Jupiter, you're welcome.
Yeah. Thank you, Ken. I hope you can hear me now.
Yes, it's clear.
Okay. You asked me a question regarding the our leader, our former leader,
Yes.
Dumego Ojukwu did. So my answer was, people of Ojukwu, people of his kind are God sent. Let's say Ojukwu is a God sent to the Igbo nation and the Biafra in general as a whole. Ojukwu, was sent for a mission. So, and the people of his kind are so rare, and they should never be ignored because Nigeria as a whole, we tell you the history and who Ojukwu is. And not a lot of people does not even know who he is, even till now. So I'm happy that you are able to, pick out and figure out some of these, remarkable, events that, and I'm very happy that the bim-massob family, have always been doing Ojukwu Memorial Anniversary every year ever since he left us. And I think that is a very good. It's a very good remark, and I also love that. I also love the way we and I believe it's a question of time. More events and more stories about him will soon unveil. And the purpose of him coming, I believe that he achieved that purpose. And now it is for we, the younger ones, to take over. Just like the way Dr. Ralph Wazwike have always shown us example that we should follow whatever now through a non-violence means, and we have been doing just that. So it's a very good, remark, I must say. Then, in regard of the caller that called and asked if the United Nations coming to meet Ohanese and Are they actually, does it mean that they are not supporting the Biafran agitation? I think to the caller, I will just make it simple. United Nations have given every nation that wants to be on themselves to follow whatever agitation that they want to follow through non-violence movement, and that is exactly what we are doing. So whoever that tells you that they are not in support of a non-violence agitation, the person is not telling you the truth. That is the simple answer to the question. Then coming to meet Ohaneze is a normal thing. Ohaneze is they are our fathers, like every other callers have emphasized. So the point is very simple. The United Nations coming to Biafran land shows that they are in support of whatever we are doing. So I think that is my own view.
Exactly. Exactly. And what people have failed to realize is that Ohaneze is part of Biafra. And that is true. Nyangodo himself was an officer in the Biafran war. So what dissociates him from Biafran struggle? When we talk of Ohaneze, it's just a body of elders that act, play advisory role, that advise the youth. They used to have their, their blood always boiling. We always want our elders to advise us. This is what they do. But it does not mean that everything they say we accept whole line and sinker. We have our own peculiarities equally, and these things we must equally display when the hour comes. When the fathers tell the children, do not go to war, the children understand that if they fail to go to war, the enemies will come and make us slaves forever. But when we go to war, we free ourselves. We are not saying we are going to war. Never. We are not going to war. But we are going to play that particular role that will make the enemy fear us at any given moment. This is what we are saying. A little bit of Biafra music. Thank you very much for being with us. We are now back on air after that interlude, brief interlude of Biafra music. Now we have to address our Biafrans proper and let us use very soft language. But in the course of using this soft language, anything that becomes harsh, they should bear with us. It is not born out of hostility or bitterness, but rather we are here to tell our people the truth and nothing but the gospel truth. It is very, very possible for Biafra to dictate the best, not just in Nigeria, but in Africa. And then to make our mark in the whole wide world. Remember, people keep on saying that in Biafra, Africa died. In Biafra, equally, Africa shall rise. Have we taken time to think of this? Every part of the world where you don't find a Biafran, that particular part of the world is not yet seeing the light. We have always said it that as Igbos, as Biafrans, we carry our civilizing instinct where every day we go. And we illumine the dark ends of any part of the globe where we find ourselves. No nation develops economically otherwise without the footprint of an Igbo man, of a Biafra person. This is the truth. And therefore, we are telling our people, just as we move from place to place by way of migration, let us equally come back to Biafra land and make it a pyramid of place, build a lot of economic activities. Once we're able to build a strong economic base, we equally are going to control the political structure. That is obvious because we have always said to anybody that has to listen, whoever controls this infrastructure controls the superstructure. If we are in charge of the infrastructure, we are going to be in charge of the superstructure. That is incontestable. What do I mean by that? Look at Biafrans everywhere. Year in, year out, we enter various international flights back to Biafra land. Enter British Airways. Out of 250 passengers, you'll be getting around 130 Biafrans. Enter Lufthansa. If it is 250 passengers, Biafrans are 200. Enter KLM, the same story. All of them, if you talk of Ethiopian Airlines, oh, Igbos. Talk of Turkish Airlines, Igbos everywhere. Now come to Igbo land. When we make the bulk of international passenger flights, how many functional airports do we have in Biafra land? Except our Caribbean that hosts international flight once in a week, and that is Ethiopian Airline. Where is Turkish Airline? What of Lufthansa? What of Air France? What of KLM? Where are the rest? We Biafrans patronize you. Why can't you make necessary arrangements to begin landing in Biafran airports? We are right now. Sonny Bobo, you are there. Uche DG, you are there. Judy Chijoke is there. Ume Maslinos is equally there. Louis is there. And host of others. This is a message each and every one of you has to carry down to the bim-massob headquarters. We have to, intensify effort now to make sure that we compel all the international airlines to be coming to Biafra land. Enugu International Airport must be busy 24 hours. Port Harcourt must be busy. Calabar Airport equally must be busy. If we mean business, we are going to achieve a lot in business. If we compare these international airlines that they must be touching down Biafra land on regular basis, for the very fact that we contribute 80% of passengers in every flight, they must listen to us. It is not even enough for Ohaneze to host the United Nations. They equally have to invite all these international airlines. We cannot be moving down to Abuja and Lagos because we want to fly to Italy, because we want to fly to Dubai, because we want to fly to even North Africa. We must do something excellent to make sure that we host some of these international airlines. When we do this, we wouldn't be spending fortune traveling from Abuja to Igbo land, from Lagos to Biafra land, and dying on the road, spending extra money. Somebody will touch down Lagos in the evening, the following morning you are struggling on the road, heading down to Biafra land. And when you are on your way to Biafra land, kidnappers within, armed robbers within, rough drive, and you can imagine what we suffer day in, day out, because we are too reluctant, we are too docile to tell these people what we want. Remember, if we don't make a move, nobody will make a move for us. Let me tell you something, fellow Biafrans who are listening. When you talk of the parting of the Red Sea, there was no magic in it. It is their fate. We Biafrans can part our own Red Sea. We Biafrans can part the river Niger. We Biafrans can part the river Benue. We can even bridge the ocean if we want. But when we remain docile, inactive, what will happen? Unless we make a move and tell them that enough is enough. Otherwise, tell me, year in, year out, we continue taking off from Lagos, landing in Lagos, taking off from Abuja, landing in Abuja. What of Enugu? What of Port Harcourt? What of Calabar? What of Simon Bagwe International Airport that is there, rendered, comatose? What is the problem with our people? We need to address even our so-called politicians. There will be a time, that is why we are talking about this election and selecting the best heads that will represent us. It is high time we spoke to our politicians that it is not enough to be there and take the obstacles and what have you, constituency allowances, wardrobe allowances. You must begin to make statements on behalf of the Igbos, on behalf of the Biafrans. You must begin now to make statements to make sure that these international airlines touch down on Biafra land direct. When we do this, we shall have economic activities booming in Biafra land. Think of the seaports. Lagos is the only functioning seaport. Go to Lagos today. 85% of imports and importations belong to the Igbos, to Biafrans. Without the Igbos or Biafrans, Lagos seaports will be submerged. That is true. Now tell me, what of Warri Seaport? What of the Onitsha Inland Waterways? What of Calabar Seaport? What of Port Harcourt Seaport? What is happening? Why are we ignoring all these things? If we are able to muster our resources and tell the Nigerian government, you say Biafra wouldn't go. You want us to be part of the Nigerian Federation by way of restructuring, and yet look at our seaports, look at our airports. What are we going to do? We shall compel them to do it. Over very many years, the River Niger Bridge has become political. Year in, year out, it becomes what people use to canvass for votes. Yet up to today, our politicians do nothing. Our governors do nothing. Our businessmen, our traditional rulers, Ohaneze, name them. Nobody is talking. And we continue to suffer. I was asking some of our elders a few days ago, how come that the Igbo youths are highly confrontational, telling their Hausa Yoruba face to face, to hell with you. What you want, we give it to you. But our fathers, our elders, our Ohaneze, they are too subordinate, too submissive. They are not confrontational. How can you always be preaching the gospel when the kingdom of heaven is taken to violence? How can you always be preaching peace when your enemy doesn't want peace? I am not trying to instigate crisis, no. I am talking of war on the table. We must tell our people, If you are talking of one Nigeria, when you say Nigeria is indissoluble, that is fallacy. How can you tell me Nigeria is indissoluble when we don't have any seaport in the whole of Biafra land? When we don't have any airport in the whole of Biafra land? When the River Niger Bridge has become an issue for yearly electoral campaign and nobody's talking. Look at our roads. Tell me, what do we have? No hospitals. Nothing is functioning. Instead, our criminal governors are siphoning our resources into foreign lands. Come to Europe. Every bank there is not full with our money. And nobody's talking. There will be a time when we are going to form a squad to be visiting all these our politicians and what have you. We cannot continue to remain docile and subordinate all the time. Enough is enough. We are getting to the terminal point. If we would suffer, inherit suffering from them, we wouldn't like to bequeath suffering to our own children and children's children. May God forbid. We are going to put an end to this impunity. Enough is enough. Because nobody is talking. That is why politicians do whatever they like. We are saying we are going to vote. We are going to select somebody who is going to represent our Biafran interest. If we vote you in there and you turn the other way around by behaving like the chameleon, we give you the big man's treatment. Remember, sometime in the past, a cartoonist in Lagos said, one day the poor shall have nothing to eat but the rich. Repeat. One day, the poor shall have nothing to eat but the rich. They are dragging us to a time when we are going to use the rich as a muscle. Nothing is functioning in Biafra land. The last in Abuja here and there. And the children are suffering. You are a politician, you are reckoning millions and billions. Your next door neighbor has no light. Your next door neighbor has no potable water to drink. Your next door neighbor has not even a pathway to walk through. When he is sick, no place for treatment, and they die prematurely. But you and your children, you rolling and gamble in the spectrum of European kingdoms. Go to America, you are there. You siphon our resources, and tomorrow you come and answer what? You begin to look for chieftaincy title because we are fools and subordinate ourselves to your devices forever. There must be an end to this. We are saying it. Very soon, we are going to take permission of Chief Dr. Rafu Wazike to address our people in the language they will understand. We cannot preach peace in our midst always. We are going to cleanse the land. We are tired of it all. Whenever I make call to Nigeria, Biafra land, when my people call me, everybody is crying. Everybody is lamenting. There are tears in the cheeks of every Biafran, every Igbo person. And our leaders, our politicians are there in Abuja, carousing, cruising life. Then tomorrow, you tell me, seek peace, make peace. Of course, there must be peace. But they say in original Latin, si vis pacem bellum para. If you want peace, you must prepare for war. The war I mean is not the war with the gun, but this type of war, we are going to tell our politicians one-on-one, fearlessly, that enough is enough. Let me now go to my co-correspondents and know what they have in mind. Uche Diji, you are there. Louis Sonny Babo, you are there. Ume Maslenos, Uche no Keke. Yes, please, I read their contributions in this. We are going to talk to our people in the language they are going to understand. Bear with me.
You hear me?
Yes, we are going to take excuse of Chief Dr. Rafu Wazike and the bim-massob family to use Voice of Biafra International to address our people in the language they are going to understand. We are not going to suffer forever. Over to you.
You know, brother, when they say that Ohanes and Igbo right to United Nations or United Nations visited them, so many people may begin to imagine the purpose or the ambition of the United Nations. Because we, being Biafrans, over 18 years have been agitating for freedom, non-exodus. And we have been expecting them to come and make sure that peace reigns for we to be liberated by this philosophy of non-violent movement that was introduced by Chief Dr. Rafu Wazike. When somebody comes to this station to tell me about one Nigeria, I begin to ask or think or reason if this person have a mental problem. The reason why I said this is when you come to Biafra land, We have the economy, we have the resources. But even like they cannot be able to direct light. Over 100 years of existence, what type of stupidity is that? What type of by my food? I must surely tell my people the truth and nothing but the truth. When you come there in nature, they said, oh, they are trying to drill years. Now the thing is still there. Who, you of them is working. You know, okay, look at who that is coming to this radio station to tell us about one Nigeria. When Governor Joseph Carlo wanted to establish airline in Biafra land or in Nigeria in particular, they refused him. Look at Aliko Dangote today is the only one that was licensed to be importing rice and other things in Nigeria, and they remove the license they're giving to give to Ibeto, and they are telling me about 199. This man is not even paying tax. He's not even paying taxes to the Nigerian government. Our road is nothing, no enjoyable, nothing is enjoyable in our land. And they are telling us to be part of them. I must tell you, if United Nations want to see us, they are coming to direct us our seat of power in where to meet chief of Raffle. They may be, working for those that they are serving at this paying, but because they are serving Nigeria. So if they want to see us, or if they want to visit us, they know how to trace us. They have been following our activities. Right was with them. So they have iniquities and all the sufferings we are passing through, driven from Obasanjo regime to this Operation Dance and Kill regime. So we will continue to tell them to what we want. Although we not go some of top members of the United States come, but we will continue to tell them it is before it gets out of hand. We will not continue to pretend we are part of Nigeria when nothing is happening there. No good hospital. Not only of them if they are ill, now they will travel to London, they travel to Germany, and when we are ill, we remain in the village. Here and $22.something billion missing. When the country do not have any light, when the country do not have any road, when the country do not have any good hospital, and they are be part of Nigeria or nothing, who is telling us that kind of story? Few part of this country. So there is a lot of things. When you that the North, who owns nothing regard.
Yeah, I think the service is failing from that side anyway. It's really failing. Service is failing from that side. We cannot get you clearly, but we understand your agitation. Indeed, we quite understand you, the passion you are speaking with. Unfortunately, the service is not very clear unless you adjust your position to accommodate our own interests. We have to make it certain that we cannot be talking of one Nigeria when we are dying in the same Nigeria. When Nigeria is becoming our graveyard. Tell me, they refuse Slug Airlines license to operate in Nigeria. They handed it out. What other airlines are now functioning in Nigeria to the detriment of the Igbos? Where is Ibeto Cement? Ibeto Cement has been handed out. Only the Dangote is functioning. What of Nkalagu Cement? Tell me, what happened to Nkalagu Cement? Everything in Biafra land, in Igbo land, this will render it useless. We cannot benefit anything again from our God-given resources because you are telling me of one Nigeria. They have to be thankful to Chief Dr. Rafu Wazeke for preaching non-violence. If not so, we would have set this country into conflagration. But then we keep on maintaining peace because, like our guest speaker last week, Alhaji Bararebe Musa rightly pointed out, these people that are subordinating us will not be there forever. There will be a time when that Pharaoh that did not know Joseph will come. That will be the hour of liberation. There will be a time for that. One day, that Pharaoh who did not know Joseph will come and misbehave. And it will be a license for the Israelites to begin to pack out of Egypt. We cannot be talking of the indissolubility of Nigeria when we are dissolving in Nigeria. Biafrans, Igbos are dissolving in Nigeria, and yet they talk of indissolubility. Indissolubility is not only when it is the interest of the Arewa or the Yoruba, but when it comes to the interest of the Igbos or Biafrans, you tell me indissolubility. For what? How can we be dissolving in a country that says it is the unity is indissoluble? Everything we have, they don't want it to see the light of the day. Tell me, I mentioned Nkalagu cement. Where is it today? I mentioned Ibeto cement. Where is it today? Slug Airline. Where is it today? Even Bat Nnaji, former minister for power and steel, when he wanted to make sure that the whole of Biafra land, even in Nigeria, enjoy a better electricity 24 hours, what happened? Oh, he wants to bring into Nigeria robotics. They don't want Biafra to survive. Even, what is the man that, Izog? When Izog invented his own vehicle, what happened? They handed him out. You come and tell me indissolubility of Nigeria. We are not preaching war, but we are telling you, if you talk of the nation being indissoluble, you must make sure that what belongs to me and take your own. But when you take your own and you want us to share our own, if you take 80% of my own, I take only 20%. Just like it happened after the Civil War. When you stole all our monies, gave every family only 20 pounds. Now today you are giving 88 billion to Biafran veterans and you think you are giving us largesse. This is our money you stole. There's nothing to celebrate about it all. Let us move down to Umema's News or Sonny Bobo or even Chen Okeke to make contributions here.
Hello, my brother. It's Umema's News. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, go on, please.
Okay. What I have to say in this whole issue is this. What we are talking about now was exactly what we saw before the struggle started, because we saw all the maltreatment meted on the Biafrans. These were the things that pushed us into agitation for Biafra. Then at this particular point, I'm no longer talking about giving us whatever in this country called Nigeria, because already it is obvious. They've already known. Just coming to whatever you see in the newspaper, like our brother that called from Iguano, complaining of what he saw on the dailies. Yes, there is no way Nigerian newspaper will tell you what the United Nations that visited Ohaneze. That is just the obvious truth there. But one thing I know for sure is this. The particular people that came to see the Ohaneze, we are a particular committee, because in the UN, there are various committees that are handling various issues or various cases concerning Biafra. There are various committees. And I believe that the particular people that visited Ohaneze are the people mandated to bring a particular message to the Ohaneze. There have always been such. There was a time a particular committee that had the responsibility of sensitizing our traditional rulers. We are paying visit to all the traditional rulers. We are aware of that.
We are with you, please.
Not tell the traditional ruler to tell him that there is Biafra. They won't, no paper will. Even we here in Lagos, there have been several times we have taken some articles to the print media for publication. What they will do is they will doctor the whole thing you want to publish and publish whatever they want to publish, because they want to protect their business. So they can never publish the exact thing that happened. So that is just it. Then on the issue of because I remember he did ask Sonny Bobo to tell us the level of preparation for 26th November.
We have told him, we have asked him
November.
already. We have asked him, he is going to give us account. Please.
He was about answering it before the call came in.
Okay.
So,
He will have the chance to
he
talk.
was answering it before the call came in.
Okay.
So you asked him to stop and you picked the call, and after the caller said what he said, we started discussing on that.
Okay, I'm sorry. He will have the chance to address us now when you finish.
Okay, yes, I just said let me remind you. So if everything, let us disregard whatever. For the most important thing is that United Nations, a particular committee for United Nations visited Ohanese. What the newspaper published is they can never publish the exact thing they came for. And they are coming to Ohanese like it as doesn't mean they are not insulted. They came because of us. They came because of Biafra. That is one gospel truth we have to understand. They came because of it. Whatever visit United Nations is paying to any organization, in any organization, it is in respect to Biafra issues. That is just what we have to understand. So we shouldn't be confused about it. So concerning what they have abandoned the airport, the seaport, and whatever. Yes, they did all those things to handicap us so that we carry our businesses to develop Lagos and Abuja and wherever. And that we have been doing. But those were the very thing that motivated, that pushed us into the agitation. And to God be the glory that today, even the Nigerian government, they've already known that Biafra is no longer part of Nigeria. If Buhari could say that he is allowing 5 Igbo-speaking states to have their Biafra, you should understand that he has already hands off Biafran territory. Every other thing that they are saying is just what they want to use to deceive people. There was a time he said something, though it wasn't published anyway, that the reason you don't want all these things to be publicized or whatever is so that they will still be able to control our people, because once everybody gets to understand that these things has already come to an end, nobody will obey the law again. So they just want to protect themselves. And thank God for Ijele Ndiwo, who, despite the whole authority that he has been given from the world, he has been able to manage himself, hold himself together to make sure that he doesn't cause any unwanted situation. So that is just, let us continue to follow him. We won't confront anybody. We won't confront anybody. Let us just continue in this non-violence, because indeed non-violence has been great.
Exactly.
So
we are not confronting, we are not preaching violence. Expressing our deep-seated emotion is not tantamount to violence. We are rather telling them that we are disenchanted in the whole system and something must be done. Sonny Bobo, are you there now to take over the seat?
Yeah, my brother, thank you very much. I really thank God Almighty for this particular topic. I want to use this opportunity to say that I think we are not in any war with anybody. We are not against anybody. Rather, I will say a very big thank you to Nigeria, who have make it possible for us to realize our position to stand as a Biafran. Because without all this their marginalization, we wouldn't have been talking about Biafra. I remember when our leader said in one of his interviews that we supported Passenger massively in 1999, depending on that he will do one or two things for the interest of the host ethnics of the nation. But Obasanjo came up on air to say that people who are defeated in the war have no right to talk or demand anything from the nation in the next 200 years. All these things resulted to agitation. All the things you mentioned today, support this and that, all of them resulted into our agitation. I can give a very big kudos to Nigeria for treating us that way, so that we can realize our fundamental right to fight our liberation, to talk of living Nigeria. On the aspect of every other thing that is happening in this Nigeria, I really thank Nigerians for all their marginalization. But when I have my word is our so-called governors who really know, our so-called representative in the Senate, House of Reps, and every other thing, who really knows what we are passing through, who really know what we are suffering for, and that cannot speak out or defend our interests. I pity them because you see, in many countries that are being marginalized, the world knows that imports are being marginalized. A lot of them know that people that travel down to Lagos and Abuja knows that when they come down to the east, that we are being marginalized, that the presence of the federal project is not there in our land. But I put the whole blame on our brothers who are in position. They're supposed to use their position to speak out the interests of their masses, the interests of their people, to speak out to the interests of what their people are passing through. Like in this country called Nigeria, I have witnessed a lot of things rising from the Yoruba lands. You can see when Arebe Sula hosted the Odua flag and Odua coat of arms in defense of the Yoruba ethnic groups. I remember when the governor of Bayelsa State, Dixie, hosted a job flag and their anthems. When I traveled to Bayelsa, I saw that in Bayelsa government, when you see Nigerian flag, you will see the Ejo national flag. You understand? But our so-called governors, they are afraid even to defend our simple interests. So I put the whole blame on our brothers, so-called governors and the senators and the House of Representative members. They are the ones to blame. But I thank God Almighty for somebody like Chief Photograph who was wicked, who have made it possible for us to realize our stand to defend our interests by seeking for our own self-determination. So on this particular issue, I want to let our people know we are not in war with anybody. We are not against anybody in Nigeria. Nigeria have done us well by making us to realize ourselves, by making us to know that Biafra is, I thank them so much for that. So on the issue of other side of it, our brothers, so-called governors, are to blame. If you see what is happening, look, just take Imo State for instance. The governor of Imo State is only after his own interest, not the interest of the masses. You look Imo State is going backward in every aspect of the nation. In many ways, you are dualizing road. You dualize a road that cannot last up to 1 month. In fact, you go to villages, you see that there is no road to enter to the villages. You know, in many ways, you see, I don't know where to start. So the whole problem, in fact, I will give it to our so-called governors. And in that aspect, they should come to their senses. And I want to use this opportunity to tell my co-members, my fellow Biafrans again, that we still have a lot of work to do. We still have opportunity to go on net, so-called all these airline people, Air France, Lufthansa, we go to internet, we search. We wrote a petition to them, telling them the importance of trying to have their presence in our own territory. Biafra land, in our own territory, in Igbo land, because we are their major customers. We will still go on that. We have been doing that for so long now. We will play our part as the freedom fighters, as people who understand the bad condition of our people. We will still write out to them through email. In many ways, we keep on our protest. We keep on showing that we are being marginalized in this nation. We wrote to them. We need to write to them once again to realize, to remind them, to let them know what we are passing through. You understand? So I will let our people to use this very opportunity as this issue is raised now to go into writing petition of what we are passing through to the international world, to many countries, to many companies that concerns and the people that we know that they are enjoying our patronization.
You understand? So that is what I want our people to go into, because I understand that our leader has done a lot by opening our eyes, by letting us to know what we are passing through in this nation, and we must put our own contribution in making sure that our accordingly. I want to tell you, America made a statement about Nigeria that Nigeria will break up in so time. I want to tell you that that particular statement is not just a mere statement; it's a confirmed statement, and it must surely come to pass. That is where I stand. That is where we stand. That the breakup of Nigeria is inevitable. Nigeria must surely break up, but it will be in a peaceful means, even if it takes time. But it will be in a peaceful means, but it must surely come to pass. That is what I want our people to know. Visiting of United Nations to Ohanese has nothing to do with our struggle. Visiting of United Nations to Ohanese has nothing to do with our liberation. It can't stop our.
Yeah, that since we have lost him.
To realize
Yes.
the mistake. Hello.
Yeah, go on, please, and the roundup that we.
So.
Go
okay,
on, please.
it will make them to realize, for them to know their position. To relying on us.
Okay, thank you very much, because I think the service is fluctuating right now. We are not getting you very clear right now.
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, we get you now.
Okay, I want to make comment on the issue of the preparation of our 26th Ojukwu Memorial Day anniversary. Okay. I can tell you everything is going very, very, very smoothly well, and we are preparing very well. And I got information that Obi of Panam from the client of Chukwu Makadena Nzogu will also witness the event, that particular event on 26th of November, Ojukwu Memorial Day, to show a solidarity support of the Biafran agitation. Obi of Opanam will be live that day at Ojukwu Memorial Library. So every preparation for that particular Ojukwu Memorial Day is very, very in a huge progress. I want to assure you that very day will be very wonderful for every Biafran. In fact, every Biafran anywhere in the world. Ojukwu Memorial Day is a great day in our life, and our people will witness a wonderful event. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you indeed, and may God bless you equally. Indeed, it's going to be a memorable day, as people from different walks of life shall be converging at Owerri to make the day very, very remarkable. Its success will depend to a large extent on members of the Voice of Biafra International crew. We are going to make sure that we interview a lot of people and send in the video clips for us to update our website. We want to keep all these things so that in years to come, our children and our children's children will make reference to them and now say they were our parents. It's going to be a D-Day, and we assure everybody that nothing will be left that will not be done. Back to what we were saying. A few days ago, somebody from Imo State sent in a video clip of where the deputy, not the governor, ordinary deputy governor of Imo State, Madumene, is living. If you see the expanse of land this man alone has coveted, it's just comparable to a desert of vast eternity. For more than 20 minutes, the vehicle was still touring around the fence built by common deputy governor, a vulture that is waiting for the corpse of his master before he becomes relevant. Occupied everywhere, ordinary deputy governor If a common deputy governor could occupy such expanse of land alone to himself, what do you think of the governor? This is the problem we are having. This is why we said we are going to cleanse our land first. This charity must begin at home. You cannot covet our patrimony to selfish interest. We must ask questions. Asking questions do not mean confrontation or war. No. But we are going to ask you, what belongs to us? Where is it? There will be a time when some of these people that take what belongs to you and me shall not have the opportunity of enjoying it. It is because we give them the leverage. That is why they act with impunity. Otherwise, tell me, what could prompt Rochas Okrocha of Imo State to expend 520 million to mold the image of a corrupt South African president? Somebody who has never contributed anything. Somebody who has never contributed anything to the welfare of the Igbo citizenry. And you are expending 520 of taxpayers' money to erect an image of a corrupt president. The most corrupt president in the whole of Africa. You erected his statue because you want him to protect the loot you sent in there. Tomorrow they tell us we should not talk. Why wouldn't we call a spade a spade? Our politicians are wrecking and raping us live. If we fail to clear them and put in the best, we shall keep on clamoring and complaining year in, year out. But the time has come for us to put it an end. What are we going to do? As we move towards 26th of November, we are asking anybody that has something tangible or positive to offer to Biafra, come forward and get your name registered. We are prepared to encourage you to any level. We are tired of training thieves. We are tired of bringing people that have nothing to offer to us. No hospitals in Biafra land. No good roads in Biafra land. No, look at primary schools. When our senators are always every day in swimming pools with their children. Back home in the villages, our pupils in primary schools don't have ordinary desks. Not what is called desk. You know what I mean? The one with wood. Built with wood. Nowhere to sit. They sit down on the floor on a dusty surface with jiggers and bed bugs, being their companions every day and all day long. What happened to our money? Nobody's being paid. The civil servants, the public servants, the teachers, nobody. And when they kidnap you, you gotta enact a law that anybody found kidnapping will be killed. When you take their money, why wouldn't they kidnap you? Come over to Europe. Let me say Germany. Come and see how government takes care of the ordinary person. Come to Germany and see what is meant by government of the people, by the people, for the people. Come to Germany and discover that if you are a politician, you are there at the instance of those who voted you in. Come over here and see how collective patrimony is used for collective interests. Come over here and see life in its fullness. Government build houses and rents out these houses at very, very reduced prices. And let me tell you, in Nigeria as in Biafra land, you have to pay landlord 2 years, 3 years before you enter the house. Here in Germany, it is only 1 month. Quote me, you only pay for 1 month. You're in Lagos, you hear what I'm saying? You pay 2 years before you enter. So anybody in Biafra land, you pay 2 years before you enter. Uche Digi, all of you, Memaslinos, in Port Harcourt, Uche Nokeke, before you enter any new accommodation, you pay landlord 2 good years. Money you have been making, saving for decades in the past. You wreck everything and give to a particular landlord. Here in Germany, government made it abundantly clear with enabling laws. You take only 1 month. I repeat, only 1 month. Whether it's private house or government house, you only pay 1 month and you enter. You take the key and enter. In the very apartment where you occupy, or which you occupy, there is 24 hours regular supply of electricity and water, both cold and warm water, same time. Everything is provided in manifold diversity, abundance. Government takes care of the people. If you are not working, government makes sure that you don't go stealing, that you must eat, that you must take care of your children. Government pays you money until you get another job. Hospital free, school free, whatever free. You can live within your immediate vicinity environment for 2 years without stepping out the next 100 kilometers, because everything you want is provided within. Taxi, buses that ply the roads here in Germany, government owns everything. Taxi, buses. It is not this maddening crowd in Nigeria, in Biafra land, where everybody owns the buses or the taxis. Yeah, government regulates everything. Government owns everything. You go and register if you want to be a taxi driver or bus driver. You go there and register. They give you a taxi or bus. Every month you receive salary. I am being honest to you. Ask anybody in Deutschland. Taxi drivers receive salary at the end of every month. Bus drivers receive salary at the end of every month. If you are in what is called apotheke, that is a pharmacy. Every pharmacy here belongs to government. You are there selling the medicines at the instance of government. At the end of every month, you receive your salary. You dare not enter the pharmacy to buy medicine without doctor's prescription, except APC, what we call top tab the old way. Any other thing outside the paracetamol, you must get doctor's prescription. Government regulates everything for the interest of the citizenry. If you are homeless, government must make sure you eat, you are housed. Tell me what is happening in Biafra land, in Imo State, in Nigeria generally. And we say we are living life of it. Every day we continue smiling, but vacantly smiling. We are dying in Nigeria, in Biafra land, and yet we keep on smiling until death. And they say nobody should talk. Why can't we talk? Come over to Deutschland and see that everywhere is a garden looking like a paradise annex. Behind their apartment, behind their house is a garden. When you feel bored staying indoors, you step outside and enjoy a little bit of serenity, fresh air. Government makes all these things possible. How can you be sick and you pay money? You don't pay. Where you work pays for your health insurance. You are sick or you are pregnant or whatever. Take your card, go to hospital, you stay a day or two. At the end of it all, take your bag and go home. Nobody asks you to drop one dime. That is government in action for the interest of the people. When they say government of the people, by the people, for the people, here it functions. It is a social system, an egalitarian society. It hardly differentiates between the rich and the poor in Deutschland. Come to Nigeria, come to Biafra land. Somebody will do for one night, you become Yahoo, you have a car, a politician, you have a driver driving you up and down, driving your children, your family. Here in Deutschland, there is no driver to an oga. If you want to drive, you must drive yourself. You must drive yourself. Everybody uses their train. Be you a chief judge, a minister, a governor, whoever you are, you must enter that particular trend. Sit where others are seated. Nobody gives you a chance and say, oh, this is a governor, this is a... Didn't you see Governor of Abia State some time ago in England when he was inside the train, standing up? Did anybody recognize him as a human being? Nobody could stand up for him. In Imo State, or Abia State rather, he will go with his entourage, siren blaring everywhere, people being cleared from the streets. But there in London, he was an ordinary person. Nobody recognized his mighty nature in Nigeria. When they come back home, they become lords of the manor. 2 years ago, they retired the Bishop of Olo Diocese. Right Reverend Dr. Gregory Ochaya was in Germany here. He entered McDonald's and queued on the line to take his own menu to eat. There were no reverend sisters or married brothers to serve him. There were no Christian fathers, Christian mothers to form entourage. Nobody. He was here an ordinary citizen. He queued in on the queue and he took his own menu from the counter, went and sat down where you and me sat. In Biafra land, we worship everybody. In Nigeria, we worship a common criminal. Everybody is suffering and nobody is talking. We are using Voice of Biafra International to build bridges to make peace. But at times we have to speak our mind. That is absolute. Come over to Europe. The funny and the ironical part of it all is that our politicians visit this particular country called Germany. Our politicians visit European countries and America. They see all the good things of life. What stops them from bringing all this down to Biafra land, to Nigeria, for the ordinary person to benefit from there? If everybody is happy, who bothers to know who is Nigeria's president or who is the governor of Imo, Abia, Enugu, Ebonyi, or Anambra? Nobody wants to know. Anybody could be there because it's a part-time job. Insofar as you are eating fine, you go to hospital, you go to good school, you live well. What do you have to do with somebody who is a governor or whatever? That day you go and cast your vote and go home. In Biafra land, everything is upside down. In Nigeria, everything is upside down. The politicians are here, they are children. And they leave the common person back home to suffer. Ordinary malaria kills our people. Ordinary typhoid kills our people. Stomach upset kills our people. Tell me, we have the wherewithal. Our monies are here in foreign countries, enriching their economy. We don't have ordinary roads, no pathways. And you tell me Nigeria is indissoluble? You tell me there's nothing we can do to cleanse our land? We are heading towards a terminal point. There must be changes in Nigeria. There must be changes in Biafra land. We are tired of the people converting our common patrimony for selfish ends. You are a governor. Last year, December Okrocha erected ordinary Christmas tree at the cost of 600 million. When there were many Imo citizens who could not buy ordinary fowl for their Christmas. Many could not even buy ordinary pure water. They had to drink from the flood. But there was 600 million for Christmas tree. What for? Vanity upon vanities. We must begin to ask questions. We must ask permission of the bim-massob family under Chief Wazike to sometimes give us permission to address our people. It cannot be peace all the time. After all, in the kingdom of heaven, there are times there is insurrection. Something must be done. Come to Europe and see what life is all about. So sweet. You see a man in 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. If you look at his skin, he looks like somebody in his early 20s because of the environment, because of good care, because of everything. You go to a market, everything is there for you. You don't need to enter from a Konoma down to Arera market or from Arera market down to Opiweka before you buy something. When you step out of Amajete, Before you reach Douglas Road there, before you reach Douglas Road end, you will see up to 5, 6 supermarkets waiting for you. You buy whatever you want. And government controls everything, their prices. In Dutchland, where we are broadcasting from, they make use of cent, 1 cent, 2 cents, 5 cents, 10 cents, 20 cents, 50 cents. How can you talk of kobo in Nigeria today? How can you talk of kobo? They make use of cent, and this thing betters their economy. In a country where you don't use the coin, you are in shambles, economic shambles. Not so long ago, I was in England. Let me say, London. The highest denomination in London is 50 pounds. Ask anybody you like. My friend Shola Salako, who is in London, I can bear me witness. When of course, I frequent London, then whenever I go there, I will be thinking I will have up to 100 pounds note. Only 50 pounds note is the highest denomination. You have 20 pounds, 10 pounds, 5 pounds, 1 pound in coins and what have you. And their economy is good. Their money has value. You can imagine in Nigeria, a policeman taking bribe, telling driver that Naira has no value. What other testimony do we need to say that Nigeria has collapsed? Nigeria has collapsed. For a serving Nigerian policeman to testify publicly, though unconsciously, that Naira has no value, he needed dollars. What are we talking about? If government officials could say that Naira has no value, they would want dollars. What are we doing? It is all over with Nigeria. Truth must be told. It is all over. They come to foreign countries, they enjoy the beauties of life. They lack nothing. But when they go back to Biafra land, everybody suffers. People cry. And when you raise complaints, they are there. The judges will kick against you. The police will be against you. Everybody will rise against you because you don't have money to settle them. When these politicians, criminals are stealing our money, they steal their own, they steal their own they will use for the lawyers and the judges. When it is time, they give them their own share. And it's all over. You become a victim. You, the complainant, becomes a victim. And they say we should not talk. We are highlighting all this is not to warn every Biafran that in the egalitarian Biafran society to come, to emerge, we must not tolerate any of such rubbish. Biafra land must be cleansed of every form of rubbish. We are going to establish a society that will be beneficial to all and sundry. Every Biafran shall have the opportunity of enjoying the good things of life. If you don't have the money, you must attend good schools. If you don't have the money, you must enjoy everything you want, get the food you eat, live in a decent house. If you don't have the money, your children must go to schools at any time, to any level. This is the vision of Biafra we are planning. So every hands must be on deck. We are pointing out all this is not to give you impression of all our anomalies that are being created in Nigeria, which nobody is complaining against. We want to highlight all this is for our people to know that the Biafra that is to emerge will not accept any nonsense from anybody. Otherwise, tell me, look at our young boys and girls every day. They are on the streets of Europe here and there, escaping, looking for where they will survive. While in Biafra land, we have a manifold diversity in abundance. And tomorrow they say we should not talk. Hello, our caller with number ending 7279. You are welcome to the program, Voice of Biafra International. Tell us your name and where you are calling from. You are welcome, please. Good evening. I'm not getting you, please. I don't mean you. Oh yes, we have explained this last time at Owerri on the 30th of last month. The Chief Dr. Wazike was humble enough to have explained everybody on the course of delay that we are undergoing some protocols here, official protocols, and we cannot break any of them. Germany is not Nigeria where we break protocol. We don't cut corners here. Everything is done on based on due process. We are on it and we are going to satisfy the needs of our people. It is a sure guarantee. Bear with us. Thank you very much. Let me leave the floor open for our numerous contributors. Let them say something on what we are highlighting. Let us know that we are going to build a better Biafran society and not this rubbish that is the Nigerian society where nobody enjoys life to its fulfillment. Let us move down to Echozana Udeze right now joining us from Japan. Udeze, are you with us? Hello, Echozana.
Baby is not close to it.
Yeah, he's there already. He said, yeah, go on, please. Echozana from Japan.
Yeah. My brother, good morning over there, or good evening over there.
Yes.
Anyway, I have hear what you are saying. Personally, I don't like talking about Nigerian politics or whatever is happening in Nigeria, because this is the number one reason why we are here. This is number one reason why we stood up to speak. One thing I believe is searching for solution instead of complaining. We have complained for more than 50 years and the problem is still there. So I believe that complaint doesn't solve problems, rather solutions solve problems. What I always advise our people is to come together for us to search for solution to put things together. Because the people at the top, mostly in Nigeria, though in all African countries, they are almost the same. And they are not working for Africa, neither are they working for Nigeria. They are working for those called Europe and America, because Britain and America were the one controlling Africa, the entire Africa. And they want to make sure that they destroy Africa for them to build their own place. They want to destroy Africa for them to stand. That's why now we have to open our eyes and think on how to bring our status back. Because those people at Abuja and wherever they are not working for us. And they're not working to please us, to satisfy us, but they are working to please and satisfy their masters, Britain and America. Looking at what Okorocha is doing or whatever any one of them is doing, you understand they do what they like. And this is why we wake up to speak. This is why we wake up to bring to the end. We are working to bring it to the end. Sometimes I used to tell people that those people shouting on them or quarreling with them or fighting with them is like fighting with a madman. Because they don't know what they're doing. They don't understand what they're doing, and they will never understand what they're doing. That's why when you talk or when you approach them out of anger, they will kill you and they continue doing what. So in a situation whereby they can get to the level of killing people without feeling it, that means they don't know what they are doing. They don't know that killing people. They don't understand the value of human life. They have got to that level. They don't understand the value of human life. When you say it, they will kill you. You know. So one thing is this. You mentioned about Germany and Europe. Though the ordinary man on the street of Germany doesn't know anything about the problem of Africa, but those in the politics of Europe, those politicians in Europe, in America, in some other continents, they know everything every problem of Africa. They are the one contributing to that problem, and they are stepping to make sure that Africa remain poor, Africa remain wretched, Africa continue dying for them to survive. You know, I say it one of my posts the day before yesterday. When you talk about civilization, Europe and America will tell you that one that is civilized. But looking at it very well, civilized people doesn't kill others. Civilized people doesn't take what belongs to others. Civilized people doesn't envy others. Civilized people doesn't attack others. Civilized people doesn't murder others. But look at the situation of things today. Nigeria you are talking about. The people behind the Nigerian problem is Britain, England, who claim to be civilized. But this same England has murdered millions of people only in Nigeria. Let's take Cameroon as instance. There are people they call Anglophoma or whatever they are calling it. There are two sets of people in Cameroon. These people were colonized by Britain, the other people were colonized by France. And the problem they create between these people, these Cameroonian people, when you see a Cameroonian speaking English, the other people speaking French, we are calling them name, old people that cannot speak French. The people that are speaking English are seeing the other people that doesn't speak, that is speaking French as different people. That is the rule, the rule of the game of divide and rule. There is war in Cameroon today because of France and Britain. Now, for instance, everyone may call France a civilized country or a developed country, but for me, I don't see them as a civilized country. Because when you are destroying Cameroon, Gabon, and some other country in Africa, looting them, taking their resources to develop your own country, using their blood to develop your own country, using their heads to develop your own country, why you want them to continue suffering? They press them down to make sure that they suffer forever, for them only them to survive. Then people will come up and say that civilized people are the people who sympathize with others. Civilized people are the people who help others, who support others, who see that the life is difficult over there. But they are making it to be more difficult, and more difficult. They are stepping on Africa to make sure that Africa never rise. You know, once Nigeria rise, Africa has rise. When I said Nigeria, I mean the Biafrans. Once Biafra rise, the entire Africa has rise. But these people are stepping on top of Africa, on top of Nigeria, mostly on top of we Igbos, the Biafrans, to make sure we never stand to do anything. Let me give you an instance, biblical instance. Bible said that when Jesus was born, there's wise men that saw the stars and are tracing to go and meet Jesus to give him some gift. When they get to at a place, they went to the house of the king to ask for more direction. And when the king heard that a king was born in his own area, the first thing the king think in his mind is this: oh, in this my kingdom, a king was born again, so I should be not sharing my kingdom with another person. But the king, being bitter in his mind, he doesn't want to show them that he's not happy. He told the wise men that go and visit him and come back and tell me, so that I will also go and visit him. The plan of the king is to go there and kill Jesus Christ, destroy Jesus Christ, kill his future, kill his talent, kill his vision, kill his mission, kill make sure he silence everything about him so that he will remain the only king. In Igbo land, we call it this is what Europe and America are doing to Africa. This is exactly what King planned to do, to destroy Jesus, to make sure no king exists in the history of his kingdom. But because God is wiser than the king, when the wise men went, they go to the other side. They didn't come back to the king to tell him where to be the king. And at that point, the king was angry, bitter, get very angry, and sent his army to go out on the street, house by house, to go and kill any child that is under 1 week. To kill any male child in order to make sure that he terminated Jesus, that Jesus will never succeed to be a king, because he wants to be the king forever. This is exactly what Europe and America are doing to us. That's why sometimes I talk attacking on those politicians, because what is happening to them is from somewhere. And we are the one to cure that madness. We are the one to cure that sickness, because we have seen it, we have understand it. Let me come again with this all this United what do you call it? United Kingdom, United Arab Emirates, United Nations, European Union, Soviet Union, and this union and that union here and there in Europe, both African Union, Europe and America. Some of us don't understand why is all this union and the United States are coming on. What is it for? Who are they uniting for? Who are they creating those unions against? What are they? What their purpose of uniting? What of the purpose of creating those unions? The reason why they are creating all those unions is to be against Africa. All those unions are creating against Africa. They are united. They are united against Africa. They are having union against Africa. All the meeting they have is to how to suppress these people in those unions. Look at United Nations, for instance. If I'm lying, do you want to tell me that United Nations are not seeing what is happening in Nigeria? Have they said anything? Have they done anything happening in other places in Africa? They are using our own African brothers too. But we have to first of all find it. When you want to find a problem to solve, start from the root. When you want to put down a tree, not to be there anymore, not to grow anymore, start from the taproot. If you cut it from the branches, it come back again. Like the politicians in Nigeria and in Africa, it's like branches. They are not the root. What they are doing there is exactly what their masters told them to do. But you have to start dealing with the master direct in order to get these people back. They unite all this unity, united. Tell me what America united. What is united in America? Tell me what is united in United Nations. When fella ask this question, and who unite for United Nations, people don't understand it. They unite against Africa. The union against Africa. They meet all the meetings they have there. How do they suppress these people? Bringing all manner of sickness into our country. Bringing both Ebola, this and that. There's something Africa has never understand. There's something Nigeria has never understand. But when you explain to our people, sometimes they don't understand. But thank God they're waking up now. You see this. Look at what MMM did in Nigeria. Look at billions of money that MMM took away from Nigeria. This is something that we don't know where it comes from. It's not from Nigeria. It came from somewhere and took billions of money from the. Let me make it this way: the money that MMM took away from Nigerians, mostly our Igbo people, we can use it. We can use that money to build second Niger bridge. We can use that money to build airport in Biafra. We can use that money to build anything at all. The money is too much. Billions of naira they took away from our people. And look at the brain. You know, our people don't understand what there's what they call babi Ijebu. There's what they call this MMM. There's what they call Niger bet now. They tell you it comes from our blood. It comes from Europe. It comes from America. That they are using it to help us. But let me make one thing clear to Africans and Nigeria and we Igbos. Satan can never give you any good gift. Whatever Satan gives to you is rubbish. And whatever Satan takes from you is precious. Whatever comes from Europe or America is a disease to Africa. Whatever, no matter how they design it, no matter how they plan it. That's why the Bible says, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. This is a weapon. Imagine this Niger bet. If you went to that hall where they're playing it, you see 14 years children, 15 years children, who stole their mother's money, their father's money, their master's money to go and play Niger bet, to go and play Babi Ijebu. You see a businessman that you think that is normal. He wake up in the morning, instead of him to go to his business, he's running to Babi Ijebu to check number. He's running to Niger bet to go and play. Now these people want use this thing to destroy our brain, to damage our brain, to scatter our brain. In the sense that instead of you thinking on how to build aeroplane, how to build drone, how to build something important, you are thinking about Babi Ijebu, you are thinking about MMM, you are thinking about Niger bet. What is it? All this is gambling. Even they bring it into the church also. They call it harvest and bazaar trial law. All this gambling. They just destroy our brain, damage our image. We don't think normal. That's what they did. But you have to watch our people. Look, let me tell you, sometimes when I look at these Christians, I pity them because Jesus said something. He said, leave them. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. Jesus said to Peter, Satan, go down behind me. Jesus doesn't want to insult Peter or neglect Peter by calling him like Satan, go behind me. But Jesus knows there's something. There's a person behind Peter's action. I hope you're hearing me.
Yeah, go on with you. Go on.
Yeah. Jesus said that because he knows that there's something behind Peter, behind what Peter is saying. The same thing is what is happening in Africa. Those politicians, imagine, sometimes I don't see it, I don't see it to be angry because I know that these people are deeply insane. When somebody, like as you said, Okorocha used 600 and something million to build only Christmas flower. And this time around, he's molding somebody, whether he has done anything to us or not. He has molded it with another millions of naira. When I tell you that he doesn't know what he's doing, somebody will say, this is what America and Europe are doing, making sure that Africa never succeeds. That's why all this united this and that is all how do we hold these people on stage? Look at Britain. I said it some time ago that the greatness in Britain is finished. When I was growing up, I used to hear Great Britain. But today, are you hearing Great Britain?
I don't hear.
The great is not there anymore. Because that greatness, they stole it from Africa. And the greatness is going back to the right place, to the right owner. Nothing like Great Britain anymore. Look at Russia, who stood against us during the war. But thank God for the word of God. The Bible said that they will come one way and they will scatter 7 ways. The Bible said they will gather, but since they did not gather in the name of God, they will scatter. Look at some people like Russia. They have scattered more than seven places, and they will keep on dividing and scattering because that is the word of God. They will say, Bible said they will gather against you, but they will scatter in 7 ways. Look at the Britain now. Wales is fighting for their freedom. Scotland is fighting for their freedom. Yet the greatness is no longer there. Britain has some strong, both Germany and Co. They plan they build European Union to unite together against Africa to destroy Africa. And Britain want to control European Union in order to, in order to cover up their evil against Africa. But today, where is Britain in European Union? They pull out. I said it before. I told them that Britain will pull out from European Union, and very soon Britain will pull out from Europe completely. And very soon, the Britain will begin to share that Britain one BRI. They separate it one and one. They will be in pieces. I'm not wishing them this because this is the word of God. He said, any weapon that form against us shall not prosper. Any power that gathered against us shall be destroyed. The imagination, the imagination they brought to us is going back to them. So I pity the children who doesn't know anything about this, what their grandfather has done to Africa. They don't want light to shine in Africa for us to come to them. They want to make it a kind of, we are the only people that can enjoy 24 hours light. We are the only people that can enjoy moving train. We are the only people that can enjoy good things. Africa are not problem. And all those things they're enjoying are from us. They stole from us to the extent they stole evil human beings to go and use their mentality, their brain, their talent in their own place. They stole resources, they stole human beings, they stole everything about Africa. Upon that, they are not satisfied. They keep on killing us and killing us and killing us and killing us and killing us. Using our own people. Actually, they're using our people. If you look at what is happening in Biafra struggle today, America and Britain is behind it. But they're pretending. Even the so-called leaders, some leaders in Biafra struggle, they're pretending. Because they easily use us. They understand, they put us in a way that we love power. We love power. That's why they will promise you that they will make you popular, that they will make the world to know about you, without showing you the inside of what they want to do. Whatever they tell you is different from what they have in their mind. But if you don't understand these people, you will follow them and destroy yourself. Most of us are fighting against ourselves. We tell them that we're fighting against ourselves. That's why when I see our people shouting, United Nations is coming to give us a referendum to help us, Trump is going to help us, this person is going to help us, I'm laughing. Look at today, when you, like in Ebola and this day, when somebody see you being happy, they say, do you win American lottery? Do you think that American lottery is a good thing for Africa? Without knowing that America can never give you anything good like Satan. The same thing with Satan can never give you anything good. Whatever Satan gives to you, worship it is destroyable. It is destructive, sorry. Whatever Satan takes from you is so precious. America and Europe, they give us sometimes. They give us those things they call lottery. When the economy is not the way it's supposed to be, they bring more people from Africa to keep on paying tax and insurance to them. Europeans and Africans living in Africa, having half copy in Africa, they don't pay tax, they don't pay insurance, they don't pay any duty. Even some of them don't pay for life. But we in their own place, we pay. Now tell me who is civilized. You pay your tax, you pay insurance. I pay here also in Japan. Other people pay in other places of Europe. But them in our own Africa, they don't pay money. Last time I saw Jos Bega truck taking one way, I was like, what's wrong with these people? Can they do this in Germany? Can they try this nonsense in Germany? You can't do it in Germany, then why do you in Nigeria? I saw them taking one way, driving one way, which is abomination in Germany. Then who is civilized? Because I know that a Nigerian, a Igbo man or a Nigerian or a Biafra in In Germany cannot take one way for any reason, no matter what happens. But Julius Berger, a company, a respected company in Nigeria and in Africa, is driving one way. And everybody is keeping quiet because nobody knows that nobody in Nigeria understands that the one way is evil, it's satanic, it's abomination. They're taking one way. We work and pay them. If you win American lottery, you are going to America to work in American company to support the country one. You are paying your tax. Even if you went with all your family are working, they are paying for tax. If you don't understand what why they brought you, why they give you those lottery to come, just sit down one day and use your calculator and calculate how much tax you are paying, your children are paying, your wife are paying. You know you are contributing a lot in Europe. Let me make it very clear. Without Africa, Europe will remain a dustbin. America will remain a dustbin. That's why they press on our head to make sure they are using us. They are using us and they will use us till the end of the world. But thank God who has woken up people like Chief Rafael was written and others at his back to prove to them that they cannot continue it. Because the people are waking up to the reality, to the fact, not shadow, not following them cheaply. They are trying to say they're helping you. They are not. We're not helping them. Because if in Europe, if Africans in Europe pull out from Europe, my brother, Europe is dead. Without Africans today, nobody will be hearing about Manchester, Chelsea, Arsenal, this and that. It's only African that is making them to be alive. It's only.
Yeah, I don't know if we have lost him. He was indeed giving us a very live commentary on the predicaments that befall Africa as imposed by Europe and America. Everybody understands the truth, but only few can speak out. Because we are running short of time, we have to give everybody two minutes to comment on this, one after the other, starting from Uche DG in Ghana. Uche, 2 minutes, please. After that, remember
Okay,
yeah.
my brother, thank you once again. I extend my greeting to HS Rodez in Japan and all your commentary. In fact, you people have done me wonderful well because in fact I learned a lot.
Please change your position a bit. Adjust your
I have a lot
position.
to say, but
Yeah.
because of time, I'm going to cut everything short. When our brother mentioned, he make a reference that yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, go on.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. So when our brother is commenting Sonny Bobo, he was making a commentary that thanked Nigeria for suppressing our people, for them to know the right thing to do. But I do not see it that way that I will have to thank them. Even
I think the service is still fluctuating over there. Uche, service is still very poor at your end. I don't know why.
They are suffering, they are smiling. My brother, I don't think that they are smiling, but they are trying to commit suicide. Clear? Can you get it clear now?
Yeah, go on, please.
Okay, so thank you. So I was seeing it in such a way that people in Nigeria are trying to commit suicide because of the suffering they are passing through. In a situation whereby one boy is using leg passing across the road, he will like to jump in with his car. But do you know that he had to pass road? Car stops for him to pass. But in Nigeria, when you are passing, he will run, he will even fight you along with his car. He will try to drive even to jam you, and you are telling me they are reasoning like human. In this money they are stealing all away from Nigeria, they pack it in Europe. I was reading like what HH is saying. He's stating it very clear. Was established so country that do not support this big they're not to strike them. Look at what happened to Gaddafi. Gaddafi was struck because he do not believe to use their own ideology. They don't know how Gaddafi was managing to
Yeah, I think the service is not better.
you know what we call our country. When you say the what are we going to do if Rochas used yesterday is using like a statues. My brother, it is because the law of the so-called Nigeria cannot be able to protect the interests of the people.
Yeah, please cut it short, because even the service is failing from one side, please.
In Nigeria, within, because the power those that they say that power that we do not question them.
Yeah, Uche, please make it short, and give other the Senate will hurry up.
To the extent that they can do anything without any questions. They are beyond questions, so we do not belong. So we cannot belong to that kind of entity that can be able to the people governing. The law cannot be the people. So thank you, brother.
Thank you very much, Uche Gigi, for your own contribution. Because we don't have much time, we give another person the chance to address us. Valentine Ugodi, it's not long you joined us. Can you make a brief comment, please, or rather brief comment before we call it today?
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for keeping on today on our broadcast. Though I came in late, but I'm happy to have an opportunity to be with you tonight. I want to thank God also.
Yeah, I don't know if we have lost him. Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, go on, please. Yeah, go on, please. Go on, and make it faster. Go on, please, and make it faster.
And I believe that God has given us Biafra, even as we are agitating and praying that it will actualize. And I also believe that as we keeping on, that God is helping us, and at the end, we'll get our promised land. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have much to say. I just want to appreciate all of you for the good work.
Thank you very much, Valentine Ogoji, for your own comments. Uchenna, okay, it's not long you joined us. Can you make your comments, please, because we are short of time.
All right, this is the voice of Uchenna Okeke from Makode, Benue State, Nigeria. Yeah, the truth is that what we are experiencing in Nigeria, we are no more happy over the thing that was happening, and that is why we want a country whereby we can exercise our rights. And I believe that Biafra is going to give room, is going to be a land whereby everybody's rights will be respected. And so I want to thank every one of us that has been working for the actualization of that country. And God will give us the strength to overcome every enemies on our way. Amen. You are all welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Judy Chije, go back to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ikenna. This is Jude Chijoke. My own little contribution and conclusion goes this way. I would like to say thank you, first of all, to Chesno David, Sonibo Bon, because I listened to their contributions, including Chediji and Ikenna in general, because when he was emphasizing, he touched a lot of areas where I felt So like I felt so sad that people might see it that we are not happy, but at the same time we don't want a situation where they will see it as if we are trying to maybe go violence or go out of the way of a non-violence cause. But the fact must be set straight that our people are not being treated fairly in this country, and just like there is no federal presence, and then the agitation has started, and we are not going to stop. So the message to our people, still have to be the same, that we have to rise up and then join the movement that is going to definitely give us what we want. So just like our governors presently in Biafra land, or those in general occupying all elected posts, we all know that most of them are a stooge. They are being placed there by the government, and they are being used against our people and for us. So that's the same reason why we are telling our people to come out and vote. Yes, we must come out and vote to make choice, to elect our own persons, our own people into the rightful position, so we don't continue to cry that we are being cheated in the country which we are supposed to be a part of. So I think that is the main message which I can pass to our people today. So I would like to say thank you to everyone who have listened to the broadcast, and they should also tell their loved ones to listen to Voice of Biafra, because this is the only place we can hear the truth and nothing but the truth. So thank you, Ikenna. Thank you, my fellow crew members. Thank you all. Bye bye for now.
Thank you, Jude, for your own wonderful contribution. Equally, Ume Maslinos, make your own comments 2 minutes before we call it a day.
Yeah, thank you, my brother Ikenna. I think what I have to say to our people concerning what we have discussed today is for us to remain steadfast in all what we have been doing and in all what we are doing, and be hopeful that in no distant time, indeed Biafra will be free from every stronghold and become a nation and play the role she's supposed to play in the community of nations. Thank you, and thank you once again, fellow Biafrans and friends of Biafra, for joining us in today's broadcast. May you remain blessed.
Thank you very much, all and sundry. Thank you, you Biafrans that have been with us for the past 2.5 hours. Thank you, our listeners. Thank you, every contributor, and especially to members of the crew. Thank you, the bim-massob family under Chief Rafo Wazirike. Thank you, Chief Dr. Rafo Wazirike, for making it possible for us to be here, always to express our deep-seated emotion as we suffer in the rickety structure that is called Nigeria. We want to better it. We want to make it habitable, but where it fails to offer us the goodness of life, we have no option than to see Biafra as inevitable. Dr. Chukwemeka Ezeife said 2 weeks ago here on Voice of Biafra International. Only last week, the former governor of Kaduna State, Alhaji Balarabe Musa, equally said it, that if Nigeria fails to accommodate Biafra, Biafra becomes inevitable. This is our stand. We are thanking everybody that has made the wonderful contributions this evening. We thank you immensely, and we cannot thank you enough. We say, as we close this evening, wait for us on Sunday, 8 p.m. But we are going to start from 7 p.m. for random talks. At 8 p.m. prompt, the interview with Professor Ango Abdullahi will take start. After this Sunday interview with Professor Ango Abdullahi, next Sunday shall be Dr. Frederick Fasheu, the Odua People's Congress strongman. we are moving ahead. Thank you, fellow Biafrans, for being with us once again. And we say, may God bless you as you enjoy Biafra music for the rest of the day. Remain blessed and good night. Hold on, please.